Okay. Yeah, really excited and encouraged about last weekend. Obviously, went out to the Nashville Showcase and had a really good showing out there. We played two ranked opponents and took both to overtime with chances to win in both games. And so feel really encouraged from our defensive play all the way out to our offensive abilities and what we showcased in that way. So we are looking forward to a new week here leading up to Minnesota. Know that they're a very good opponent, especially on the offensive side of the puck. So looking to have a really tailored practice week this week, and have a good overall preparation, make sure that we're in a good, healthy spot to put on a couple of really good games here at home.
Coach, this isn't your first rodeo with Minnesota, but is it hard to put the maroon and gold away being an alum and have to wear purple this weekend?
I would say it gets less and less hard every day. Obviously, maroon and gold is something that's in my heart from an alumni standpoint. Always feels nice to go back home and have a little bit of a homecoming feel to it. But I do remember actually very vividly, I think it was in year one or year two of being with St. Thomas and walking onto campus and having really this resounding feeling of, gosh, this feels like home now. And so I think there's a part of my heart that will always be, a Gopher alum and have a special place there. But there's certainly a big part of my professional heart that has really learned to love being with St. Thomas and the incredible opportunity that we have here.
What does it mean for St. Thomas to get them at home this weekend, right here at the St. Thomas Arena?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that for us, we've played traditionally really well at home, in particular this year. There's something about being in this building, even though we're looking forward to what's on the future with a new building ahead of us. But something really special about playing at St. Thomas Academy for us in these first few years. And I think the girls play with a lot of jump and a lot of heart and passion when we are at home. And so we're looking forward to another good performance this weekend.
Do you worry about too much jump, too much excitement?
I don't think so. I think that one thing that I've been really excited about is the maturity of our program. I think that in the first couple of years, we might have had a little bit more of that, where there was almost so much jump and so much excitement that at times we had to kind of manage that a little bit more effectively. But like I said, I think that we've had so much growth and so much maturity, especially this season. I mean, you look and we played Ohio, we brought them to overtime. We played Clarkson, we brought them to overtime. We just played Penn State, go to overtime with those guys. And these are all nationally ranked opponents. And in our past, we've done the same with Minnesota here at home. And so I think that's kind of a little bit of the growing pains of being a part of a new program is how you manage those ebbs and flows and that excitement. But I feel really settled with our current group and the level of maturity and professionalism that they've demonstrated this year and in recent years to really show up and play a huge opponent. It feels like every weekend we're playing a top 10 opponent, if not a top 5 in our league. And so it's something that they've really kind of come alongside and learned how to handle well.
You talk about playing to overtime and in overtime. Does it feel like right now your team is ready to push over the top and win in overtime, or maybe win it before overtime?
Yeah, if we could win in regulation, I don't think anyone's going to be disappointed about that. But yeah, I think that that's the healthy steps of a building program is, us as a coaching staff, we were talking recently, and in year one, you kind of you want to have some good competitive games. And then all of a sudden you grow a little bit and you're like, okay, now we want to keep them really tight. And then once you keep them tight, you're like, now we want to be pushing to tie these games and push them to overtime. And then the next step in our process is right where we're sitting. I think we're finding ways to not only keep these games competitive, push overtimes, but then how do you take that next step and find a way to go up a goal or go up 2 goals and get those wins in that win column. So I think it's something that we are definitely nearing towards, and hopefully we continue in the positive trajectory that we've been demonstrating.
So last weekend you went to Nashville. This weekend you have Minnesota coming here. How does that work on the recruiting circuit for you? Do people now know St. Thomas is a destination?
I sure hope so. Yeah, it was certainly fun to go play in Nashville and just get in front of some new faces. And certainly being back at home and having that recruiting advantage of players being able to drive 10 or 15 minutes and come watch the St. Thomas Tommies play is also an advantage. So I think that helps from a national landscape point of view, just to have those crossover games with those non-conference games, especially in a destination like Nashville, where it just draws some attention from a standpoint of people watching. But certainly the mix and the combination of having both, I think, is what can really create leverage and opportunities to get showcased as a building and a very successful Division I program now.
What do you do to get 2 wins against a team like Minnesota? What do you do differently with your team, or do you play your style and make them adjust?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. You mentioned getting 2 wins. I think the big thing is you start by getting one, right? So one thing at a time, I think, as we progress towards this weekend, we are going to be extremely tailored in our approach. I think over the last couple of weekends in particular, that's been something that we've really focused on as a coaching staff and as a program is watching a lot of scout film, doing a lot of review, tailoring against certain individual players, that sort of thing. And so it has to be a combination of both, I think. I think you need to know what is your hallmark identity as a program. What are you going to kind of hang your hat on? What are going to be your fundamentals, your keys to success? And then alongside that, also knowing who is your opponent and how are you going to tailor your approach throughout the week to make sure that you're prepared not only to play your own game, but to make sure that you can defend theirs.
Final one for me is you look at women's hockey and you played it at the highest level. Mm-hmm. Now you're coaching it at the highest level. How good is it? How good has it gotten?
Oh, it's been incredible. I mean, I think that from a player standpoint, it was really fun. And I don't want to age myself, and you can look up the years I played, but it's been a little while now. And it was great hockey when I was playing. But the jump that we've made since then, even in the last 10, 15 years, has been truly incredible. And when you got programs like St. Thomas and others that are coming into the mix, with so many great hockey players, not only in the great state of Minnesota, but across the country and internationally, it just continues to get better and better and better. And so I think as a former player who played not that long ago, it's just something that I'm really proud of as I see the growth of the game, both from the youth level up to the college level. And now you look at the PWHL and how much that is given opportunities for post-collegiate play as well. And so it is extremely exciting time to be a part of women's athletics, and I think women's hockey in particular.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.